This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right, while it's happening, welcome to the afternoon show presented by ESEN. We got a packed house today. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Frankie the Yankee, Jay McLovin, Tony Gonzalez, and we got special guest Pride with us today. How's it going, guys?
Man, it's good to hear from Pride again, man. I didn't know he was still alive. I didn't know.
I went on
It's been a while.
I went on a sabbatical. You know what I mean? You can call me Kyrie Irving because you know, I'm just gonna leave and then, you know, claim it's for my mental health. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been a terrible week for the Astros. Obviously, Trammell.
God is good. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good.
Amen. No, I didn't realize that Trammell, because I didn't get to watch the game because they had blacked out. But Trammell, I guess that first inning against the last game of Detroit, crashes through the fence, and now he's in concussion protocol. I didn't realize he crashed through the fence in that first inning, but yeah, that was nuts.
I told you that, Jay. I said a Houston Astros player. I didn't know his name at the time because, you know, I don't care about your players. But I said that. I said, oh, wow, now a Houston player down getting carted off. I thought it was funny. I thought it was part of the show. But it is what it is. It's a good day for me here. You know, it's interesting. It's interesting because today's preseason. We got Patriots versus Giants. And then today, starting a 4-game series, we got Yankees versus Boston Red Sox. So it's kind of a weird day for me. I'm going to be flipping channels saying F Boston Red Sox, and then the next one I'm saying F New York Giants. It's going to be interesting. Everybody around my neighborhood is going to be like, what the hell is wrong with this guy?
Well, I'm sure they do that anyway.
Well, all right.
All right, guys. Well, let's jump into a little bit. The Tigers defeating Houston 7-2. I think and Houston and Seattle is having a competition who can play the worst right now. The Phillies beat up on Seattle 11-2. Seattle missing a good opportunity to gain ground on Houston and surpass them. But I think every game Houston lost, Seattle's lost. So that's been interesting. Mets got a win over the Nationals, Nationals beat the Mets. Excuse me.
The Mets lost.
Yeah, the Mets lost, and then the Reds had an opportunity they could have tied things up, but lost a close game 2-1 to the Angels. Cubs won 3 in a row on the Brewers. I think they play again this afternoon. So the Cubs are putting it on the Brewers a little bit. Rangers beat Kansas City 6-3. Yankees big win 6-4. Yankees are hot. So a lot of interesting stuff in baseball. Interesting series like Frankie said with Boston and New York. A big series for Boston if they want to stay in things. So Yankees are hot, looking good. So Frankie, how are you feeling about your Yankees?
Sorry, I did a J moment. I'm not feeling 100%. You know, I mean, I'm going to take the wins. But then again, this 5-game win streak that we had were against sub-500 teams in Tampa and St. Louis. And now we're going up against the Boston Red Sox, who are literally right there neck and neck with the Yankees fighting for a wild card spot. It's going to be interesting to see this next 4 games. And like Tony said, it's really literally like both these teams are going to need it. And I don't know. This is what baseball feels like, right? It's when you're in the edge of your seat every game because you need a win, or you're just going to sit back upset because you lost a game where you know you should have won. So it's going to be an interesting 4-game series against Boston. I'm just excited to have the Astros back on the bottom of the Yankees after Jay talking all that trash the last 2 months. And now he's just sitting there quiet because Scooble, took him to school.
Actually, that's not really factual. That's how I know you didn't watch the game, because actually it was 0-0 when Scuba came out in the 7th. You really didn't get that one run until you went into extra innings, but nice try.
I mean, did he not take you to school, though? He kept you on 0.
I mean, you can make the same case for Hunter Brown, though, but you wouldn't say that because your hate would prevent you from saying that. It's okay. It's all good. I appreciate it.
That's because everybody's watching don't care about Hunter Brown or the Astros.
Pride, how you feeling about your Boston team?
So I'm about to start on my slander. I'm gonna try to be professional as I can. That being said, fuck the state of New York. All right. I just want to come in with that heater. All right. I will say though, Boston has kind of surprised me. I didn't think we would be in the thick of a wild card spot. I'm gonna be full transparency. I thought I'm not gonna say we were gonna be trash, but I thought we were gonna be a mid team. I thought we were gonna be like 500 was the apex of what we were gonna be. And Frankie, you and I, we did not like Houston. We got Alex Bregman. All of a sudden, Houston's not that bad. I would have cheated too. Like, honestly, I'm not mad at them anymore. You feel me? So, like, I got some conflicting feelings going on right now. You know what I mean? Because obviously, I'm Garrett Crochet. I mean, Garrett Crochet, best pitcher in all of baseball. Like, honestly, you can argue with your mama. I'm sipping the delusional juice. I love the guy. Like, you can keep your Otanis, your Screwball, Two-Bowl, Toaster Strudel. He's a bum. Detroit's garbage. You feel me? Crochet. Like, you feel me? I'm out here almost a White Sox fan because that's where we got the kid from. So I'm like, and I'm going to be honest now, this is low-key giving me some vibes of we got Chris Sale, and all of a sudden, we won a championship. Maybe I'm reaching, maybe I'm not. Hey, maybe I'm just doing too much. I don't know. Aroldis Chapman all of a sudden looks in peak form. And at first, when we brought him, I was like, Jesus Christ, what are we doing? And like with each game, I apologize because I'm like, how dare I think this guy was washed? Even though we all know he is. This is just an anomaly here. He's washed. But if you're gonna have an anomaly here, have it with us. You know what I mean? That's all I really care about. Feel me? If you're gonna be great, just be great with us. But I'm really liking how we honestly how we really play. Duran's obviously doing Duran things. This kid, he so much as touches a ball, and this kid is gonna do whatever he can. I know people say Ella De La Cruz is like, you know, one of the most exciting players in baseball. I think Jarren Duran is right there with him because this kid got power. He runs the bases with this aggressive intelligence where he's not just running and run. Like when you see him take off, you're like, okay, it's because he knows he could have something. Obviously we're starting to call kids up like crazy. You know what I mean? I'm liking Roman. I like, you know, the fit he has. Whitlock, we're putting him in the middle of our bullpen and him coming in those relief innings. I like it. I really do. I don't know. Do I think we're gonna win? No. Do I think we have a chance at the wild card? Yeah. Can we make some noise? Sure. But honestly, as a Red Sox fan, just us being able to be in that position that we could potentially get a wild card spot, honestly, that's all I really wanted. Because this year it was supposed to be in the dumps. It's supposed to be a garbage year where we're kind of just throwing it away, seeing how our youngsters are doing, see who we're going to call up next year, and kind of figure out what we're going to do with the pitcher rotation. And yeah, honestly, I'm loving it. You know what I mean? Even if we don't win, this is one of those rare years that even if we don't win, I'm still happy with what's happening to us, unless we get swept by New York. Talk to me in a week and a half, because if we get swept, I might start saying we need to burn down this franchise.
Chris, how are you feeling about the Reds? Reds lost last night, I know, but they got a day off today, and then they go 3 games at Arizona. How you feeling?
Well, first of all, I agree with Pride. I think the Red Sox are this year really like a season ahead of what people kind of expected them to be. I think that next year was the year they thought they'd be battling for a playoff spot, not this season. With the Reds, last night, it was another one of them games. We out-hit the team we played, but we couldn't get key hits to get the runs in. Had a lot of runners in scoring position and left them on base last night. Should have definitely scored more than 1 run. Pitching was good again. I mean, you can't bitch when your pitching only gives up 2 runs the whole game. But our problem was we had 7 hits last night, got 1 run. And we last few games we've been doing a lot better job of converting our hits into runs where we wasn't able to do that last night. Kind of sucks because we got that win. It would have evened us up with the Mets for that last wild card spot. But with the Mets losing, we stayed where we were at. We won another series. That's like a couple series in a row. So if we can go into Arizona, get a win, hopefully at least win that series. It'd be nice to get the sweep because then we go to the Dodgers for a 3-game series after that. But the main thing, if we keep winning series, we're going to be where we want to be at the end, and we'll be in the wild card. We just got to keep winning series.
Yeah, I agree. Jay, how you feeling about the Astros? Man, you guys just can't hit the ball, or at least can't score runs. So how you feeling, and what's your hopes to get things turned around?
Yeah. I mean, like I said before, I feel like the Astros are in like this transitional thing where for one, Christian Walker, we brought him in. He hasn't really performed like we thought he would. So there's that. We've had a couple other like Trammels and Hummels and spot guys here and there playing for us because we just haven't had a lot of our guys healthy. We just got Arrighetti back, and we just got Javier back. Obviously, coming off those Tommy Johns, not Arrighetti. Arrighetti just had general soreness, but he's been out for about 2 months. Long story short, we have some guys come back from injury. They're still, I guess, getting back into shape. So it's been a little challenging. Obviously, Alvarez are expected back, I think, by the 26th, I've heard. I think same thing with Myers. Blanco, I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. And Garcia is supposed to be back, I think, within the next 2 weeks. He's been doing a little rehab work down in AAA, so hopefully he'll make it back soon. But right now, you're right, man. Our hitting has just been terrible. And that's really what's been killing us is just our hitting. And I'm hoping that, we get Jake Myers and Alvarez back in the lineup, that maybe that might spark something. Jake, he's a 300 hitter when he left on injury. So I'm hoping when he comes back, we can get a little bit of a spark or something, start generating those hits again, honestly. Like I said, when we went up against Skubal, it came down to extra innings in our bullpen. Eric getting that first game just didn't look good. He's had 3 starts now since he's come back from rehab, and all 3 starts have just been terrible. I mean, he's given up multiple runs all 3 times. Javier did get the win on his first one back, so we'll see how he does going forward. Framber Valdez just did not look like he had his best stuff yesterday. Although I will tell you, in that 7-2, when Trammell went into the outfield fence, they had to give him a triple on that because he was obviously incapacitated. So that was a little bit of an issue there, I think, while they got so many runs right up off the rip in that first inning. But neither here nor there. We've got to get our bats going. I know this is a dog days of summer, so I really don't care too much right now. But going into that last week of September, we can't be playing the way we're playing, and so it's gonna. I think probably by the second week of September is going to give me a better feeling of if this team is going to be able to do something, or if we're going to limp into the playoffs and get bounced in the first wild card round. So there's a lot left to be. There's still a little bit of baseball left to be played. We get the Orioles tonight. Young he gets to start tonight. Obviously, Young, had that perfect game going into the 9th against us when the single was hit. I think Urias, I think he hit that blooper single in the 9th, and that ruined the perfect game. So it's going to be another tough battle against him tonight, especially since our bats aren't doing well. So. It's tough, Tony. It's tough when you're playing. The only thing that makes this better, I guess, is the fact that the Mariners and Texas and everybody down below is playing just as bad as we are. So it's kept us in the hunt. But it's not fun watching it right now, obviously.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to touch on baseball? If not, it's fine if you want to, and if not, we'll move on to some NFL.
I just want to ask Jay a quick question real quick, and it's not to knock on his team. It's an actual legit analyst to analyst question type thing about your Houston Astros. So you guys have not been looking good lately. You guys are like, I think a game and a half ahead of Seattle. And I hear what you're saying. It's still August. September's right around the corner and stuff. Do you see your team possibly could it be possible you guys slip out of the division lead? Seattle takes over. You guys end up in the wild card. Or can it possibly be that you guys, somehow, some way slip out of the wild card? Because there is teams like Boston, Seattle's coming up, Texas has been winning, Cleveland has been winning. So, I mean, is it possible that now you guys, if you guys can slip out of the playoffs.
I mean, yeah. I mean, is it possible? Hell, anything's possible. So to say it's not impossible would be an unintelligent answer. So yeah, absolutely, it's possible. Again, you know, I'm hoping that when we get these key additions back, you know, towards the end of August, going into September, that they can right the ship. But yeah, I mean, if you don't hemorrhage the bleeding, yeah, everything's possible, right? So yeah, certainly possible.
Yeah, Kansas City's coming too. They actually passed Cleveland, so the Royals are starting to play real good also. So yeah, you know, we talked about teams peaking too soon. Houston peaked in June, and they've had a hard time getting it back to where they were. And if they don't pick it up, they could find themselves out of the playoffs. It's very possible.
Yeah, and you know, again, you know, when you the thing about Houston is, you just don't know what this team really is because, like I said, they still have five starters still on the injured list, and then obviously Hader, he's down, he's done for the regular season. At best, I think we get Hader back in by the time playoffs roll around, if we're lucky. The fact that they're even mentioning him coming back by the playoffs tells me that it was probably a grade 1 and not like a grade 3 or 4. So the fact that it's a grade 1, that gives me hope that he can make it back by the playoffs. But again, you got to be careful with him because you don't want to ruin him for next year either, depending on, you don't want to go for a grade 1 to anything worse. So they really have to be careful with how they proceed with Hader. But yeah, when you got guys coming back from injury who've been on injured for a long period of time, and then you get new guys coming in. I mean, obviously, when Bregman left, I think Pride will tell you, how good Bregman is playing right now with Boston. That was a big hit to our lineup when Bregman left. And then when you get Tucker, who left, that's another big part of our lineup. And by the way, the fact that Tucker has been with a broken or fractured hand for 2 months and the Cubs didn't know about it. They talk about Houston's medical staff. What the hell is going on over there in Chicago that you got to go out there for 2 months and you don't know he's got a fractured hand? What are you doing?
I mean, let's be fair. Chicago is the standards for them are lower than the floor. Like the standards for Chicago is like, I would not be surprised if someone on the roster died in center field. I don't think they would notice it. I think they would keep playing.
Oh my
and
God.
Then they'll just get someone to just drag the body to the bullpen, and they'll literally slap a helmet and drag a unmoving body to the plate. Chicago is a dumpster fire right now. So I mean, I understand what you're saying in terms of, how could you not know? Of all the organizations in baseball, the only place it would probably happen is Chicago. Because I mean, let's be honest, they don't even know who they got on their own roster. You know what I mean? Like it's a dumpster fire over there, man.
And he might have hit it. He might have hit it from him. He might not ever told anybody that he was feeling any pain, was hurt or anything. He might have just he might have just tried to play through it because he didn't think it was broken, didn't want to sit out.
Yeah, that's another possibility. He could have just had something minor, and as he kept playing and kept pushing through, it could have made it worse. So it could have been like a little tweak and turned to like a fracture and then it break. You know what I mean? That's a possibility.
Well, how it all started out was 2 months ago. He had his finger dislocated, and then he had been complaining about having pain for over a month. There's just nobody was listening to him. I don't understand. You get a dislocated finger. How are they not, taking an X-ray of your entire hand to make sure nothing else is jacked up? When you got a guy that you traded all these players for, and he's your number one guy, how are you not doing your due diligence? I mean, I'm sorry. There's a certain level of care that needs to be exercised, whether you know it or not. If you know he had a dislocated finger, I'm X-raying the whole hand to make sure that it's just a finger and not other underlying issues, especially when I got a guy who's worth over hundreds of millions of dollars to my franchise. You better damn well believe I'm going to be X-raying the whole hand to make sure there's no other outlying issues. And by the way, Houston, you're not exempt from this either. The fact that you didn't know that Alvarez had a fractured hand for as long as you did, you're in the same damn boat as Chicago's in. You should be doing better care for your athletes than what you're doing.
You'll never hear this come out of Boston.
All right, guys, let's move on to some NFL real quick. I know we wanted to touch on some quarterback stuff, but I just wanted to bring up the 49ers traded to get a receiver from Kansas City Chiefs. They got Sky Moore. You can tell what the Chiefs thought of Sky Moore in this trade. Pretty much nothing. San Francisco got Moore and a 7th round draft pick in 2027, and the Chiefs get a 6th round draft pick in 2027. So basically, they got more for nothing. Guys, got any thoughts on that real quick, and then we'll move on to some quarterback talk.
I just have to ask Pride, since Pride's on the show today. I know, and really everybody's a fan for that matter. I feel like Rashee Rice almost kind of in a way made him a little bit expendable, made Sky Moore a little bit expendable. Also having the other guy from Texas on their team. My brain's going left, but you know what I'm talking about.
Xavier Worthy.
Thank you, Xavier Worthy. I appreciate that. So having Worthy on there and having Rashee Rice back on there, I think that kind of makes Sky Moore a little bit expendable. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think he was going to be expendable anyway. I mean, in Sky Moore, I'm not going to say the kid's bad, but listen, he's a good route runner. I'll give him that. Outside of that, he is the walking definition of mid. He's not fast. He's small. He doesn't have crazy strength. He doesn't have he's a decent route runner, but his break isn't nothing phenomenal. Like he's just there. And I understand that, he was relatively a well-known name in college. I understand that. But once you get to the NFL, you kind of have to build on it. And he's relatively been the same player, which is why he hasn't really got a lot of time, and a lot of touches in Kansas City. Now, if you look over the 49ers side, I mean, at this point, the 49ers wide receiver core is about to be playing out there with duct tape and freaking packing tape stuck all over them because, they're decimated. So they had no choice but to make something of a move. This is the best move they could have made at this point in time. But, I mean, to me, this is one of those moves. I know some people have been looking at it like it's kind of crazy, but to me, this doesn't really do anything for me in the slightest. It's still, you're still getting a mid guy who Sky Moore is probably fighting for that last wide receiver spot. So it's not like you're trading for this kid to be your number one. You're just kind of trading him for depth, and you're just only buying time until you can get some of your guys back. And that's only some, because I think Brandon Ayuk is going to be gone for the whole year. So it's like you're kind of bringing in a dude. I mean, again, Jake, to your point, they didn't really give up much. So it's not like it's not like it's like a make or break thing. You know what I mean? This is just kind of like a bridge thing. We're just hoping that, we're hoping this kid can give us something, which he's got the talent to do, but it's nothing where, oh yeah, this kid, this kid's something. This kid could be great. No, like I said, he can run routes. He's a decent route runner. Outside of that, this guy's a walking epitome of mid. And all this really is just we just need someone else to flush out, because in the preseason they haven't liked anything they've seen from their wide receiver core. That's all this really is.
Real quick, I'd be curious to know, what do y'all think? How well do you think Purdy will perform, not having the level of talent that he's had in past with Ayuk and Debo and things like that? What is the expectation for Brock Purdy this year?
What do you think, Chris?
No, I think Purdy will still have a good year. I think with the San Francisco, and it's going to help. Well, it depends on Purdy's years, and with the 49ers are good, is going to be as Christian McCaffrey healthy. If he's healthy and he can run the ball, that changes that opens up Purdy and them receivers. But I do agree with Pride. The trade for Moore is just for depth, because they got guys hurt. You're not going to have Ayuk. They're not bringing him in expecting to get. I don't think they're expecting for him to be a number 1-2 guy. He's a guy you brought in for depth. Somebody gets hurt, you're hoping to throw in, and he can make a contribution. But no, I think Purdy will have a solid year this year. But I think if the 49ers season depends on McCaffrey if he's healthy or not. Because we've seen their offense when he's in there, and we've seen it without him, and they're not nearly the same without him.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. One thing you got to look at too, I agree. This is opportunity for Moore. I mean, he wasn't going to get an opportunity with Kansas City on that depth chart, but he just wasn't going to. And this is an opportunity. So can he make the best opportunity, or is he going to say, be like Pride said, is he just going to be mid? So this may be the big opportunity for Moore to prove himself. What do you think, Frankie?
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't care about the 49ers. I think their season ended before they even started. Let's not forget they lost a lot of key playing defender players throughout the offseason because they were waiting 4 or 5 months just to give Brock Purdy his money. I get that, what you guys are saying is Sky Moore going there for depth because, they don't have wide receiver and stuff. But it's not the offense to me that I'm worried about. It's the defensive side of the ball that's worried me because of how much talent they lost on the defensive side of the ball. And I do get that they got, Robert Saleh back as their defensive coordinator, but that's not going to change anything if you don't have the players and the depth in defense to help you stop the offense from scoring or at least getting first downs or anything like that. So it's cool, Sky Moore getting traded and having the opportunity to do what he's got to do. But like I said, defensively, 49ers aren't going to do nothing. We got a special guest, ladies and gentlemen, because our boy Pride is here. None other than, and we were just talking about his team, the Chicago Cubs.
I had a feeling.
All right. Oh, he's at the Chicago Cubs game at Wrigley Field.
Hey, Pride. Franchise. What's up, Daddy?
It's crazy that you lost Devers, Mookie, and everybody else, huh?
Oh my God, here we go.
Honestly, the Devers one doesn't really bother me too much. I'm still crying over Mookie Betts, not gonna lie. I still have nightmares for Mookie Betts.
And then he leaves. How do you do that? And then wait, like
what a bop.
Like Pride is talking and you leave.
He did drive by.
He's hating a drive by. What a time to be alive.
Oh man. Well, guys,
real quick, if you don't mind, I had one because I did want to just one thing with Pride real quick. He was talking about he was talking about Cleveland and Shador and his placement on the depth chart. I'm sorry, was that what you were going to talk about real quick?
Yeah, I was getting ready to move to the quarterback stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were getting ready to go out of NFL. Well, go ahead. I apologize.
No, you're fine. Yeah, we're NFL. Yeah, let's talk about Shador, and then also let's talk a little bit about the coach quarterback situation because Pride brought it up and before we got on the air. So Pride, I'll let you go first. What are you thinking about Shador and Cleveland and their depth chart?
It's weird. So first of all, I understand. I get why you pick up Joe Flacco, but I think it's stupidity at its finest. And I'm going to kind of go the same thing when it comes to the Colts, but you are not a playoff caliber team. You're going to be a sub 500 team.
If that.
Yes, like I'm talking about like if Bozos go like, we're like, you know what I mean? Like, let's say they're like what, 3 games under 500? That's probably the best thing they can hope for. The best, right? Like a 7 and 9 is probably the cap of what they could probably do, and that's me being generous. You might as well go with your young guys and give them an opportunity to see who you're gonna keep long term. Because you're not gonna keep Dillon Gabriel and Shador Sanders long term. You're not gonna keep both of them. You're not. So you're gonna have to kind of have a conversation with yourself and be like, all right, look, let's roll out who we like better. And if you look at their depth chart, they like Dillon Gabriel better. I don't know what drug you're smoking, but if you like that kid better, okay, cool, go get drug tested and then go get your head examined because you're a moron. With all due disrespect. But if you like that kid, roll him out. And then if he can't handle it, throw a Shador. I don't understand why these garbage teams are rolling out a veteran quarterback thinking he's going to get us wins. Okay, first of all, this is not prime Joe Flacco. This is senior citizen, great grandpa, false teeth, cane walking, handicap placard Joe Flacco. This is not the Ravens Joe Flacco. This is a tenured, old, I'm not going to call him senile because mentally he's still there, but this is a minivan driving Joe Flacco. And the mere fact that the Cleveland organization think this guy's going to buy us a game. For example, let's say he wins you one game. You're not winning the division. You're not even able to come close. You're not making the playoffs. So what's the point of rolling an established quarterback out there? They're going to say, oh, yeah, for money. Well, if you're ticket sales, that's why you just paid Myles Garrett up a donk zillion dollars. Joe Flacco's not your money guy. Myles Garrett is. So to me, it doesn't make any sense. I would have rolled out one of the young guys and see what we got.
Well, can I say this, Pride, real quick?
Go ahead.
It's kind of like what we did last year as New England Patriots. We had drafted Drake May, and we didn't start him till like week 4. And to start the season, we started Jacoby Brissett. I see Cleveland kind of doing the same route. They know that they're not going to win the division. They know they're not going to make the playoffs. I think it's more of the fact that they want the veteran to start so that way the 2 rookies can learn a little bit more a couple of weeks, because you don't want to throw those rookies in right away. I mean, look what we did with Mac Jones, right? We threw him in right away, and then look what happened in his career.
Yeah, so I don't think bad. We just didn't give him help.
Exactly. That is true. That is true, 100%. Because he did take us to the playoffs his rookie year. But
and made a Pro Bowl.
I think, yeah, and a Pro Bowl. That's right. But I do think that that's what the route they're going is they have Joe Flacco, knowing that Deshaun Watson is not going to be there this year. They want to go the veteran route just to, secure probably a couple wins maybe, or at least have the rookies learn under Joe Flacco. And then you got Kenny Pickett, who is truly the real Super Bowl winning quarterback of the Eagles last year. And I'm going to keep saying that because he was the last quarterback in the Super Bowl to take that snap. I'll say that all day, every day. I don't care.
No.
I don't care. He was the last quarterback in that field. He got the win. He secured the win for the Eagles. So they got a Super Bowl quarterback in Kenny Pickett to back him up, which I do think
for the Eagles.
Which I do think they are. And we said this a couple weeks ago. I don't know if Gonzo was the one that agreed with me or it was Tony, but I do think that Kenny Pickett is going to be on the trade market by the trade deadline, because I said that there's going to be a team out there that's going to lose their starting quarterback and they're going to need someone. And who better than to get, a Super Bowl winning quarterback like Kenny Pickett?
Yeah. Okay.
And then that's where, Gabriel, I feel like Gabriel's going to be a practice squad QB. Honestly, that's my thought. And then Shedeur will get his time in the NFL this year at some point when they take Joe Flacco out. But it resembles to me just like what the Patriots did last year.
And, okay, so I get what you're saying with the Patriots, but the difference is we drafted Drake May, and we knew Drake May was going to eventually take over. Yeah. Like, we drafted him, and we knew, you're next up, kid. Let's buy you a couple weeks so you can get more acclimated to us and what we do in our offense, and then we go from there. The problem with Cleveland, you got 2 kids like that. You got 2. It's one thing if you only had 1 kid, if you drafted, Dylan Gabriel, who's going to be a bust and irrelevant, and people are going to forget that he even participated. You say he's a practice guy, dude, I give it 3 years and he's going to be selling real estate. Okay. This bum isn't going to be around. Right. But regardless, if you only had him, this would make more sense, because now it's like, okay, you look at him as your guy. He's a young cat. You're going to go ahead, let Joe Flacco run the offense a little bit, let Dylan Gabriel get accustomed, and then you can slide him in. The problem though, you got 2. And if you having 2, it's gonna be this awkward thing where, all right, who's really gonna be playing? Because this preseason, Shedeur's been out playing Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur's not even getting first team reps. Let that sink in one time. In the game, he's performing better, and in practice, they're relegating him to practice squad guys and people they're about to cut in a week or 2. And he's outperforming Dylan Gabriel. Like, for me, this makes no sense. I mean, I would have Joe Flacco as a backup in case things go to like complete shambles, sure. But to have him start, I would have started one of the young kids and see where they are from there, because until you put the kid out, pull him out, and play him, how you really gonna know what you got? I understand the whole thing about, you got to sit him for a year or you got to sit him. I understand that to an extent, but there's no learning like getting hands-on. And I could sit here and I could watch tape and I could be like, oh yeah, that's cover one. That's cover one. That's cover two. He's trying to do it outside. The linebacker trying to do it outside, but it's easy to do that on tape. But when you're in the pocket seeing it and you're feeling that pressure, that's something completely different. Because I'm seeing Dillon Gabriel afraid to even get touched. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders out here with his non-mobile having self is out here stretching plays out. So, but yeah, we got to send Joe Flacco home. He's old.
Chris, what do you think?
I think they're going to. The Browns are going to cut Kenny Pickett, and that they're going to have Gabriel and keep both Gabriel and Sanders. I think Sanders is probably going to be on the practice squad, and Gabriel is going to be the backup. But I think with Kenny Pickett's injury, instead of keeping him, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy out.
So disrespectful to the true Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Oh my God! To Chris, to back up your point, we're not doing this. To back up your point though, because they literally the last quarterback they signed was Tyler Huntley. So I mean,
and they have 2 first-round picks in next year's draft as well.
Right. So I mean, if they're like, I'm be real. If there's someone I'm cutting Kenny Pickett 3 times. I'm gonna cut him 3 times. Matter of fact, I'm gonna cut him. I'm gonna keep him on the team, put him on the practice squad, and then I'm gonna cut him at the deadline so that way no one else can pick him up. That's what I want to do with Kenny Pickett. I swear to God, I never liked him. I thought he was doo-doo, dog water, caca-poo-poo, pee-pee shire. He's a dirty diaper. That's what this kid's always been. I've said that since day one. People thought he was cute because he did that fake slide. Yeah, now look at him. From fake slide to fake quarterback. What a time to be alive. And Frankie, shut up about the Super Bowl. We're not doing this. Not on this day.
I don't think Pickett will be. I don't think Pickett will be on their opening day roster. I think he's going. I don't think he's going to make it through these last preseason cuts.
Even though, you really don't think he'll be there?
Nope. I think they're going to keep both rookies. I think they're going to keep Sanders and Gabriel.
Can I throw this out real quick? And I know we're talking about the Browns, but can't you make the same argument for the Giants as well? Because they're starting Russell Wilson, and Jackson Dart has been an absolute show this preseason.
Yeah, but Jackson Dart, the Giants took in the first round, didn't they?
Yeah. They actually made a trade to trade up in the first round to get Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I think Dart will end up starting this season. I think they're going to do like the Patriots did last year. That's actually to me a better comparison to the Patriots because with Dart being at least being a first round pick instead of being a 3rd or a 5th, where last year Drake May was a top 5 or 6 pick. Something like that. I know he was a first round pick. I think Dart plays this year. I think they're going to start saying Wilson the first few games or whatever, and I think Dart will take over.
Guys,
hold on. Go ahead.
Let's face it with Cleveland. Guys, I don't know that they've got a quarterback on our team that's worth a fuck, period. That's just my opinion. I mean, Gabriel, I'm not sold on. I'm definitely not sold on Shedeur. And, of course, like he talked about the guy that's going to start. The dude's 75 years old or something, the quarterback is. We had him last year for the Colts, and he couldn't win. So, I mean, I don't think they've got a quarterback. I think their quarterback is going to – unfortunately, I think they're going to probably have a new general manager again, a new coach again, and they're going to draft number 1 quarterback next year or, pretty high quarterback next year. That's just my opinion because Cleveland's organization is trash.
You forgot another again. That's another quarterback again. It's like their 50th quarterback in 16 seasons.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me just say this. There's something I think is interesting about this. I know when asked by the media about how Dillon Gabriel tunes out the noise surrounding the quarterback competition, he had this to say, and I quote, "Yeah, it's just part of it. There's entertainers and there's competitors, and I totally understand that. But my job is to compete, and that's what I'm focused on doing." Now, a lot of people made it out to be that the entertainment was in reference to Sanders. Dillon Gabriel came out and refuted it and said he was talking about the media. I don't care how you look at it. I damn think he's talking about the circus that surrounded Shedeur. At the end of it, though, I do believe that, like you guys believe, I think Pickett and Huntley go by the wayside. I think they're going to ride with Flacco, Shedeur, and Gabriel. But I don't think you know anything really about Shedeur and or really gave it because they were both kind of hurt in preseason. So we only got glimpses and pieces of them during preseason. Flacco didn't play. So I probably wouldn't. I think to what Pride said, man, I would probably roll out Gabriel since he's my number 3 pick, and I'd see what he can do. And if the kid sucks, I give Shedeur and work it way down to Flacco if they both suck, and then reevaluate with your 2 number 1s next year, because you're not going to go to a Super Bowl. It's like you're trying to compete for a Super Bowl. You're just trying to figure out what you got in the quarterback. And like Pride said, how do you know unless you see him in game time action? And I never seen a clipboard carrying person ever become great. So sometimes you got to put them out there to see what they can do. And if they suck, you pull them, you put your next guy in. If he sucks and can't get the job done, then you know what you got, or you know what you can develop. Either way, you're going to know some answers. And then you reevaluate. You go to the drawing board next year with your 2 number 1s, and maybe you get Arch Manning or somebody else.
Jay, I don't agree with you on that. I've seen guys sit on the sidelines for a couple of years and then come in and play very well. So it depends on the situation.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, of course they can come in and play well. I'm just saying that there's no better experience.
That clipboard for a couple of years that's been great.
Say that again, Chris.
I said there's been guys that's carried a clipboard for a couple of years in the NFL as a backup and been great.
Yeah, but they're few and far between.
Yeah. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but he said nobody ever carries a clipboard.
But it's closer to no one than ever, because the reality of the situation is those guys that do it, like you're either Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., who just happens to be the greatest quarterback to ever grace God's green earth, or you're just a guy who just so happened to be behind an all-time great. But I mean, I think where it's different here is in the same draft, you drafted 2 guys. And that's kind of where it puts a monkey wrench in everything. If there was just one guy, it wouldn't matter. Because again, kind of like how you brought up the Giants, even though you got Russell Wilson, who's going to be the starter, and you still got Jameis Winston there, everyone knows we're only here until they think Jackson Dart is ready. And when Jackson Dart is ready, they're going to hand him the reins. Everyone already has that understanding, but that's just because they drafted this one kid and they've made it known. Cleveland doesn't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. Like, this organization is going to fire their GM and then hire them again tomorrow thinking it's someone brand new because he changed his name on the resume. Like, this is it. To me, I don't get it. I don't understand it. It was a stupid move to draft 2 quarterbacks in the same draft, period. I think that's stupid. But to each their own. It's Cleveland.
No, I agree with you. I think it was stupid to take 2, but I don't think it was the GM. I think the GM took Gabriel, but I think the owner stepped in and was the one that decided they were going to take Sanders later on.
Which
kind
again,
of like he did kind of like he stepped in and made the decision to trade for Baker Mayfield and get Deshaun Watson and give him the guaranteed money.
Which is, again, it's kind of
stupid, but he always does.
Gotta have some sort of, you know what I mean? But you got to have some plan and some sort of, lock and step between ownership and the general manager if they're both involved. Because if not, you end up with this, and then what are you gonna do next year? Because next year, listen, I'm saying this right now, they're not gonna give any of the young kids any playing time. And next year, they're going to be confused. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to keep Shedeur. They're going to keep Dylan Gabriel. And they're going to go draft somebody else. They're going to draft another quarterback. So now you're going to have 3 rookie quarterbacks on your roster on a rookie deal. And you're not going to know who you're going to play. Watch. They're going to do that. Almost as bad as a property franchise, man.
Okay, guys. Let's move on.
And by the way, before I forget, this is what Myles Garrett wanted, by the way. This is what Myles Garrett wanted, by the way. Because he was saying he didn't want to be there. They paid him. Look what he did. So now, honestly, I love you, Myles. Really do. You probably don't know me. You never will. But you did everything that you got coming. Because week 5, this man's going to be tight. Watch.
Yep. Guys, let's move on about the Colts. And a lot of people have been upset that they named their starting quarterback and went with Indiana Jones. Pride, I'll give you the first take on this and what you think.
All right. So
Be nice.
I'm gonna be nice, but I don't think it's necessarily.
You know what? He was a Giants quarterback. Go ahead and be disrespectful. I'll agree with everything.
No. Because listen, and I've said this before. I like Daniel Jones. I don't think he's garbage. I don't think it's as bad as everyone says he is. That being said, I do think is he going to elevate anybody? For sure not. But I think the kid's solid. Where I think it's weird, you spent the 3rd overall pick to go get Anthony Richardson. And you knew, I'm sorry, the 4th overall pick. I lied. The 4th overall pick to get Anthony Richardson. And you knew this kid was going to be a project. You knew that for the entirety of his rookie deal, you were going to need to work with the kid. You knew that. Where I get lost is if you know that when you draft this kid, you're going to have to spend quality time with him, a long time, his entire rookie contract, and you're giving up before the kid can legally rent a car. We need to stop acting as if he has not shown. He's shown something where to give up this early is lunacy. The only knock you can put on the kid is injuries. That's really it. And before anyone goes, oh, well, in that preseason, he did miss that one blitz. You know who else missed a blitz that looked very similar? Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. And the one that gets replayed from the high heavens, where Tom Brady is looking left, and he's just chilling in the pocket. He's looking, and that same blitz is what lit Brady up. He didn't see it. Are we gonna call him dumb? Tom didn't see it. Are we gonna say that he couldn't read the defense? Tom couldn't see it. Are we gonna say that he was too unathletic to move, even though he really was unathletic? No. It was a good play. I don't understand why people are looking at that one play and pretending as if, oh man, woof, this is bad. Meanwhile, this kid's been ducking and diving from linebackers since he came in. Let's ignore that, right? Like, people literally called him a young Lamar Jackson because of some of the plays he can do and how he can extend plays.
People that said that are morons because he ain't got the heart of Lamar Jackson. And I can tell you real easy, Lamar Jackson never tapped out. That's the whole problem with Anthony Richardson. They can say he's young and all this stuff, but the bottom line is he tapped out, and that's a bad look. That's a bad look. The
optics are bad. Listen,
he tapped out because he was tired. He tapped out because he was a pussy. Because he was a pussy.
That's too. No, I disagree with that. I disagree. See, I would be with you if he tapped out and refused to get back in. He came back the next play.
How do you tap out? This is the NFL.
By tapping out.
That's horrible. I'm sorry. It's no heart, and you're supposed to be the leader of the team.
No heart. They ran him. What was it, like 5-6 times straight?
I don't care. You don't tap out.
Come on. We seen Alvin Kamara tap out. We saw Zeke tap out. We've seen great Adrian Peterson has tapped out. You give me an all-time great running back that ran the ball 6-7 times, they've tapped out. Lamar Jackson is tapped out. His rookie year he did.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I didn't see that. I'm not saying you're wrong though, because that's quite possible.
The reason why no one brought up the Lamar one was because everyone understood. Well, look, if you're running the ball 6 times in a row with the kid, and it's not like it's a snap and he's trying to pass and he takes off. No, it's designed runs. Yeah, the kid's gonna get exhausted. So I'm not really mad. Yeah, he tapped out. I understand that. Is it a bad look optic-wise? Yes, and I agree with you there. Optic-wise, it's a bad look because what he could have done was probably called a timeout, or maybe he could have just done an audible and say, "Yo, listen, man, I need a minute. We're gonna take a run up the gut." You feel me? I'm a turn. Yo, JT, look, man, this is where you're making money. I need you to run up the gut because I'm about to pass out. Should he have done that? Yes, no debate. But let's be honest here. To fry the kid because he did that for one play, I don't think that's entirely fair. Because again, it was for one play. Oh my God, who's that stallion? Look at Campbell. Oh my days, that man. Now I'm sorry. I saw Beauty and I kind of got a little distracted. But for me, this is a kid, and mind you, he only did it one time. It's not like he's done it forever. They addressed it with him, and he goes, "Oh, all right, cool, my bad." Hasn't done it since. This is a kid who's 23 years of age. He like when I said he can't rent a car, that's not hyperbole. That's legitimate. That's real life. This dude, like when he's not home, he needs to catch a ride with someone else because he can't get a car. And to give up on him this early, to me, is weird. You got 2 more years left on his contract. These are the years you need to spend working on the kid. And now this is where you need to start giving him goals. All right, look here, kid. Your injury history has been a problem. We got 17 games. I want you to be able to play in 14 of them. Let's start with that. Now, when you're in the pocket, we want to work on you getting your completion percentage up. Don't take that Carson Wentz stuff out of you because he always wants that home run ball. Don't do that. Let's work on working the checkdowns. Let's work on staying low. Let's work on utilizing, not going deep all the time. Let's utilize these short routes. Every time we got, Jonathan Taylor running a quick little hitch route, let's utilize that. These 2 years that's what you need to do with the kid. Because last thing you want, and this is gonna be my last point, I'm gonna hand it off to you. Last thing you want, because in 2027, that's when the team option comes into effect. Last thing you want is for you to be heading into your team option, not knowing what you got with the kid, then being forced to pick it up because you don't know what else to do. And then the next year in 2028, when he's an unrestricted free agent, he goes, "Yo, remember what y'all did to me? Kiki," and he dips out on you. And because you didn't really properly plan, all of a sudden you're now beat and you're stuck at square one. So me personally, I would have rode the kid out for at least 2 more years. So at least now you got 4 years of, okay, the first 2 years were spotty. But look at these last 2. We gave him goals. He went out and he either completed them or he didn't. He either reached or he failed. And then now you're able to kind of go from there. Because listen, no one's getting Daniel Jones. You can extend him for like another 4 years on a cheap deal.
Yeah.
If you really want to keep him on the team. But me personally, I wouldn't have given up on him too early.
You see how Pride just said the first 2 years he could be trash, and then the next 2 years he could be something golden. I'm pretty sure Daniel Jones did the same thing with the New York Giants. He was trashed like the first 2.5 years. Then he started to turn it around. Then he actually did great, got them to the playoffs, actually won them a playoff game, got the quarterback extension money over Saquon Barkley, by the way, which pushed Saquon out to go to Philly. And then he was trash again. And then what happened? The Giants just ended up saying, "The hell with it. We'll just take on that money and we'll just cut you, bro. Like you're not it." I feel like what Anthony Richardson did for the Colts last year, which was tapping out and saying, "I can't do this no more. Like I'm tired." That was right there was the mark right there that said, "Okay, we're just gonna start Daniel Jones this year over Anthony Richardson." Because if I'm not mistaken, Tony and Chris, Anthony Richardson played week 1 in the first quarter and got hurt. In preseason? Am I right?
Yeah, dislocated finger.
Yeah, and then he had to go out, and he tried saying that he wants to come back in and play, but obviously they didn't want to put him back out there. And I'm pretty sure because he did that, they were like, "All right, well, we're not going to do this for a second year in a row." And I'm pretty sure that was right there again another reason why they said we're going to go with Daniel Jones. I don't think Daniel Jones makes it even better. I understand you guys. You're a Colts fan, and I hate the fact that you guys call him Indiana Jones because that's a disrespect to Harrison Ford. But
be real, Frankie, though. That's a banger nickname, though. Like if he was a stud, oh my God, that'd be a banger nickname.
But that's the thing. It's a big if he was a stud. He's not a stud. All right.
Frankie, be real now. Be real. If me and you were Colts fans and we had Mac Jones that rookie year, we're screaming Indiana Jones at the top of our voice. We're screaming it. I'm telling you, bro.
I'm not even gonna go there because honestly, I don't understand why we didn't come up with that nickname when we got him as well. So like, I get it, but mac and cheese was better anyway.
You already know, baby.
So my issue with the whole Anthony Richardson thing is I feel like the best ability is availability, and the one thing that's hurt him, his ability to stay healthy. How does he develop? How does he get better when the guy spends more time on the injury list than he does anything else? I think that's really one of the biggest things. And I'm sorry, but a lot of times, a lot of careers go by the wayside just because no matter how good or how much potential was in a guy, he just never could stay healthy. So there, at some point, you kind of give up on the guy. And I think that's kind of where Anthony Richardson is. He's had so many injuries. He never has been able to get momentum to really develop into what he could be. And I kind of agree with where Pride is, saying, like, I think you should give him an extension. Hopefully you get his conditioning on point. Figure out how you get this guy or keep this guy healthy, number one. And then number two, you really have to put time and energy into him, and you really have to develop him. Like, for example, if all this time he's been on the injured list, I don't know what he's doing in this time there. Is he in the film room? Is he watching tape? Are they going over things with him? Are they developing his mental and football IQ while his physical abilities can't develop? Are you developing him and developing him up here? I don't know what they're doing. But it seems like the worst thing that hurts Anthony Richardson is just his ability to stay on the field to actually develop into something. And that's really the one thing that could take him out ultimately if he's not able to overcome these injuries.
And I get that. That's why I'm saying these last 2 years, you need to start giving him goals and you need to start giving him objectives. Like, look, the biggest problem you have is, hey, you'll have a good game or two, then all of a sudden you're off for 3. So let's work on that. We got 17 games. Give us 14. Let's work on that. You know what I mean? Like, stop running like a bat out of hell every play. We're going to start going down on that. And again, that also comes down to him being able to get that completion percentage up and working the checkdowns. Because now if you're doing that, now he's not doing these crazy plays that ultimately ends up getting him knocked out the game and even longer. So I understand one of the biggest black marks is him tapping out. Like I said, was that a good look? No, it is what it is. And listen, I'm gonna be real, man. That was my quarterback. Maybe me and Frankie are singing a different tune and we frying them. You feel me? I ain't gonna sit here and lie. You know what I mean? That's a possibility that if I saw Michael McCorkle-Jones tap out, maybe I would have taken a road trip to Massachusetts and had a conversation.
Yeah, I would have definitely sent letters to Robert Kraft saying, "Let this dude go."
You know what I mean? So let me not be a little too delusional. Understand that you guys got a personal stake in the game because that's your team. But I don't know, giving up on him this early, I don't know, man. I feel like these next 2 years, you give him goals, and if he can reach them, great. Now you're seeing the improvement, and now you're going like, okay, now this kid is kind of really, he's taking it himself. He's getting in better shape in terms of his diet. After every game, we're seeing him doing a routine. Well, I'm not calling him fat. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's not about
like,
him being fat, Pride. I feel like he's just too tall. He's too tall for a quarterback. Like, and we've seen many tall people outplay a position where we feel like they shouldn't play. And going back to Jay with his injury, right? Even Gonzo and Tony know this. They needed a quarterback during that draft time, and the only available quarterback at that moment, I think they had him at like 8 or 7, was Anthony Richardson. And even before that, in college at the Florida Gators, he was also injured as well in there. He was an injured prime person in Florida Gators. So like the Colts were stuck on getting Anthony Richardson. They weren't going to get a quarterback in free agency because there was none available. There was none available in the draft because all the top prospects went within the first 5 to 6 picks, and Anthony Richardson was left on their lap. So I feel like, just to me, just the height of him, like he's over 6 foot tall. You shouldn't be a quarterback, bro. You should be like you should play a different position. And in football and NFL, we've seen many times, especially me and you, Craig, because we're Patriot fans, and Bill Belichick, we've seen him do it many times, where a person get drafted as one, and then the NFL they get switched to a different. Julian Edelman, for example, he was a quarterback in college, came into the NFL, was a punt returner, and then worked his way into a wide receiver, becoming one of the best. I'm not necessarily the best, but I'm just saying like one of the best Patriot wide receivers. I'll say that.
One of the most important Patriot wide receivers. Let's do it. I love me some Julian Edelman, but
Hey Chris, let's get your take on this.
For me, I really don't like the tapping out when it happened. Yeah, I was disappointed, but like now that wasn't the main thing with me. Main thing with me is the reports and stuff you hear out of the building about being late to meetings, not being the leader, stuff like that. That's the stuff that's more worrisome to me is if you have to. This is the 3rd season in a row you've been telling this guy, hey, you need to do this, and he's still showing up late, still not doing this stuff. That's the stuff that worries me more. But I think the whole problem is what Frankie said. The whole problem was he got way overdrafted. He should have never been a fourth pick in the draft. And when you get drafted that high, you're expected to play and succeed right away. And he's a guy that's a project that needs time to, like you guys are saying, to develop.
Yep.
But when a team takes you that high, they don't want to keep giving you that time. What it comes down to me, what I think happened is with Jim Irsay passing away, the GM and the head coach know with the daughters taking over new ownership, they're going to want to make their mark. That if they don't have a better season this year, they're gone. And I think Steichen, after going through training camp, seeing both of them play, he felt like Jones is going to give them the better chance of winning more games this year than Richardson. And they're trying, and him and Ballard are trying to save their jobs. I think that's what it really came down to.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So in your mind, you're not thinking this is they don't really care about the future, because in their mind they're like, shoot,
they're not going to be here if this don't work.
Okay. I mean, well, I get that, because again, like in terms of who's going to win you more games right now, I think Daniel Jones will spot you another game or two.
I think if Jim Irsay was still alive, Anthony Richardson probably is the starter this year.
Okay.
I think Jim Irsay passing away changed a lot, because it has a lot of people in that building on eggshells, because they know with the girls taking over, there's going to be changes, and they're not going to mess around as much as Jim did.
Especially them trying to make like a good first impression in terms of like, yeah, we understand, old man Irsay is gone, but that don't mean we're going to be a poverty franchise. Like, we're still trying to be good.
Another thing that helped Daniel Jones is what Sam Darnold did last year. I mean, Darnold came in and he hadn't had success, and all of a sudden he had success moving to another team. The Colts were probably hoping, hey, man, we'll put Daniel Jones in there. Maybe we'll get lucky, and this dude can perform and have a great season, and we can make the playoffs.
So
may not.
So let me ask you guys a question right quick. And this Jay, Frank, y'all can chime in, but this is mostly for the Colts fans here. Let's say that happens. Let's say Daniel Jones kind of replicates what Sam Darnold did, where this year he has a phenomenal year. He goes, he balls out of his mind. So Anthony Richardson, next year, so not this year, but next year, it'll be the final year before his club, before the team option. If Daniel Jones goes crazy, plays out of his mind, are you willing for Daniel Jones to be I don't want to say long term, because it's like you're only really going to have him for a couple years before you have to go back to the draft. But would you rather stick with Daniel Jones for like the next 3 years and just cut Anthony Richardson, or like, do you think he even can do that? Like,
no.
Damn, Frank already say no. Wow.
No, I'm not keeping Daniel Jones. I'm not keeping
no matter
Anthony
what.
Richardson. If I'm the Colts, I will start all over again and look for a quarterback in the draft. I'm not keeping Jones. Listen, we've seen Daniel Jones do that, right? And I said it earlier. He had a season where he played out, he balled out, he ended up getting the money from the Giants. He took them to the playoffs. He won a playoff game against the Vikings, and then he got that paid contract over Saquon Barkley. And what happened at the end? It bit him in the ass. He ended up being trash again. He got cut before even week 5. He got cut. I think he got cut in week 3, if I'm not mistaken. And then Saquon ended up going out and winning a Super Bowl with the Eagles. So I mean, you can ball out all you want with the Indianapolis Colts, and then I'm not gonna turn Gonzo and Tony. I'm not gonna upset you guys or anything like that. That's good on you guys because it's your team. But at the end of the day, you guys should also know, like, you've witnessed Daniel Jones doing that before. I'm not going to guarantee that, Daniel Jones had a great season, so he's going to do it again for us for the next 3 years. No, I'm not going to guarantee that. No, I'm not going to, just because you had a great year, bro, I'm not going to give you a contract where you're going to be our long-term, or not a long-term, but like for the next 3 years or 4 years or something like that. No, I wouldn't do it. If I'm the Colts, then maybe I will do it for one more year,
just because I'm going to get rid of Richardson and I'm going to pick up a quarterback in the draft, or try to pick up a quarterback in the draft, and maybe, you know, have Daniel Jones play a couple more games for you the following year, and then have that rookie end up, you know, taking over or something. But if I'm the Colts organization, I'm looking at what he's done before and what we could see in what he's doing. And if he balls out, it's only because he wants a contract. And once he gets that contract, once he gets that money, that balling out that Daniel Jones does is going to disappear.
I mean, we already know if you ran the Colts, you would go for Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett. So, like, your kind of thoughts on the matter is a little crazy right now. Mr. Gonzalez, talk to me.
I mean, am I wrong though? Kenny Pickett went to the Super Bowl and he won it. Damn it,
Mr. G. Right? Let me ask you, man.
If he plays well, plays well and the Colts win and have a good season, I would be all for keeping him, except for one thing: I would not overpay for him. I wouldn't get crazy and give this dude, you know, top 5 money or anything like that. I think that would be a mistake because, like Frankie said, he got paid, and of course he got paid, and they got rid of, and then the great running back left, and that hurt the team. So he lost a big piece of the team. So the Giants messed up on keeping Jones and getting rid of Barkley, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, I would, if he has success, I would keep him. I just wouldn't overpay for him. If I had to overpay for him, then I would start over. Chris, what do you think?
Relax, Jay. You'll get your
I
turn.
think it just
Jay.
depends.
You'll get your turn.
It depends on how he plays this year. But if he plays well, because I think I think the Colts are going to have a good season. I really do. I think last year we were one game behind Texans for our division, and we had real inconsistent play at quarterback. I think we're going to have a little bit more consistent play this year more consistent play at quarterback this year. So if it goes well, I wouldn't be against re-signing him, but I'm the same way. I'm not giving him no 35, 40, 50 million a year. It had to be on a deal that's friendly for both sides, and then look to see what you're going to do for a younger guy. So I wouldn't be against keeping him if it goes well, but I do. We won 8 games last year. I think we're going to win 10 to 12 games this year. I think we're going to be a pretty good team. And with Jones, one thing you got to think, yeah, he had Saquon in New York, but if you look at the weapons he has around him right now, he hasn't had the weapons that he has around him in that kind of caliber in New York. He didn't have that for the last couple of years. Didn't have a tight end or the receivers, and we have a better offensive line. So I think it could work, but we'll find out here in a few weeks.
Crazy.
Hey,
Jay, can I ask you something right quick? Let's say Daniel Jones, you know, he balls out. They gave him like a solid 3-year deal, not inexpensive, you know, relatively respectable, right? Do you cut Anthony Richardson?
See, that's a hard one. Because you're not really going to get much for Richardson.
Right,
so,
because I feel like if you give him that contract, you're basically picking him over Richardson.
Yeah.
If he real quick,
yeah.
I just want to add this in real quick. If Jones plays good, I think Richardson will be gone at the beginning of the next season because I think Steichen's already moved on from him. I don't think Steichen really cares for him. So if they win and they keep Steichen, I think Richardson will be gone.
Okay. Go ahead, Jay.
Sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
The way I look at this whole situation is, I think Daniel Jones is going to give your club the most stability and allow you to be the best competitive team that you can be this year. So I think you're going to have to ride Daniel Jones on that effort. When it comes to Anthony Richardson, I didn't realize, that he was being late to all these meetings and things like that. So that tells me it's more than just the availability to be available. That means he has no discipline and no nothing. I mean, and so that's like you said, Chris, that's a bigger issue for me than anything. So if I was them, I don't think you're going to be able to get enough trading them. But what I would say is, hey, we'll bring you back on an extension, but it's going to be a performance-based, extension. You're going to have to earn this contract. You're not going to be given a contract, and then it's going to be up to him whether or not he wants to earn it. He's got to be in the tape room. Watch this. Your quarterback coach is going to be your best friend. Your strength and conditioning coach is going to be your ex-wife. And you're going to have to be, and then I would put you in a locker right next to probably one of the best defensive second team guys that we got on the team. So that way you can pick his brain about what he sees on the field. So that way you can learn how to read defenses. So I would do a lot of investment into Anthony Richardson, but he's only going to be on my team at the end of this current contract if he can assign a performance-based contract and not be a guaranteed contract, because at this point, why invest more money into him if he's not willing to at least be at the team meetings on time? That means he has a discipline problem. He has a conditioning problem. He has a football IQ problem. There's a lot of problems in this kid. And if he's not willing to put in the work on a performance-based contract, then there you go. That way you got rid of him and you did everything you could to help him and help him be phenomenal with your organization. And if he doesn't want to do it, then you're fine. Performance-based, baby. You didn't cut the mustard. See you later. And then that's how I would roll with that situation if it was me.
Jay, how the hell are you a Cowboys fan, man? Your owner don't even think like that. Your owner should hire you.
Guys, you just said it, man. We all know the issue with the Cowboys is the owner. So what are we talking about, man? Don't you see the tagline below my name? Don't you see the tagline below my name? I didn't put it there, but it's how I feel.
Jerry Jones likes the pain.
You should come to
He
the
likes the
Patriots
pain.
side because that's
He's a masochist. Is that what it is? Or sadist or whatever? He said in his documentary, I like the pain. And he smiled. And I'm like, yo, I think you're too old for that, my guy. Relax.
All right, guys, let's move on. Let's go to the hot seat, guys. I've got 5 questions. The first one's not really a hot seat. It's more almost kind of like a trivia question. I seen something posted yesterday. Some of you may have seen it. I don't know. How much do you guys think for WrestleMania 3, the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the match that he had with Randy Macho Man Savage, how much did Ricky Steamboat get paid for just that match? What kind of money do you think he got paid, guys, for WrestleMania 3?
I'll be honest, I don't think it was a lot. Because I feel like at that time, he really wasn't, like, respected as... Like, I feel like he was one of those guys that while he was performing, people didn't really respect until it was already said and done. So I would not be surprised if it was only like
WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, 1998, guys.
Because you know they were paying Randy, Hogan, they were paying them big money for sure. Ultimate Warrior.
He probably got like 25K.
I don't even think it was that much. I feel like I feel like it was mad disrespectful.
Because WrestleMania 3, that was in Trump's.
No, WrestleMania 3 was Detroit, the big one.
Oh, right. Yeah,
it was their first
Hulk
big one.
Hogan slammed that big greasy giant. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that one.
And
So
a lot of people thought the match of the show was Steamboat and Savage.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 5. I'm gonna say 5K. I feel like he got spit on.
What do you think, Frankie?
I'm gonna go up in the high. I'm gonna probably say I know I went high with 25K. I'll lower it. I'll probably bring it down to about 14K, maybe 12K.
What about you, Chris?
I'm gonna say
My audio low to you guys.
I'm gonna say 10,000.
What about you, Jay?
You're muted, brother.
Is my audio low to you guys?
No, I was gonna say it was a little earlier. I think that's what Joe was referencing, but you're fine now. Chris, I think it was your turn, correct?
No, it's your turn.
Oh, okay. What year was WrestleMania 3 in?
1987.
Yeah, for 1987. So based on probably that time frame and what their money scale probably looked like back then, in 87, I'd probably say, probably about 15 to 20. Maybe I'll say somewhere between 10 to I'd probably say somewhere between 10 to 15 grand.
Okay. You guys had pretty much the same thing. His son posted the check stub. They still had the check stub. He got paid $50,000 for that match.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, they were closer than me. Damn.
And things were different back then because you got paid for the gate and the shows. You didn't get, there was no guaranteed money.
Yep.
You got like a little base salary, which wasn't a lot of money. And then the more dates you worked and the bigger houses were and who you was on the card is how you got paid. So he got paid $50,000.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it'd been that. I wouldn't have thought it'd been that much, Joe.
Vince is so smart. That's how you know how he's really smart. That's how he became a billionaire.
Back then,
like golly,
back then 50 grand was a pretty good chunk of money.
Oh, it was a great chunk of money.
And after taxes, they even had that. After taxes, it was 47,000 or something. Some change.
That's still a good chunk of change right there.
Okay, guys.
That was probably a little over middle income. But yeah.
You get 50,000 now. That shit, you ended up walking away with like fucking 15,000 of that.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Next question. Who would you rather have on your team right now? Kyle Schwarber or Kyle Riley? Let's go Jay first.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with Kyle Riley. I mean, the guy's having a phenomenal MVP caliber year with all the home runs he's hitting. But I'd probably take the OPS over the home runs and things like that. So I would go Schwarber.
Okay. What about you, Frankie?
Yeah, I'm definitely going Schwarber as well. I like what Kyle's doing, but Schwarber's just like, as of right now, Schwarber's like been on a tear, and not just getting home runs, but also getting base hits and getting those runners across. Kyle Schwarber, definitely for sure.
What about you, Chris?
I'm gonna go Cal Riley. I love Schwarber. But I'm gonna go Riley for one, the hitting, but also he's a catcher, so as good, and he's great behind the plate. So that's even adding another dimension to your team as well. So I'll go with Riley.
I think Gonzo just likes the name Big Bumper right there. Big Dumper. Big Dumper Bumper.
Okay, what about you, Fry?
Honestly, I'm going with Gonzo. Just the mere fact that, and mind you, I like as a Bucs fan, I had Kyle Schwarber, and I was out here going mental for it. You know what I mean? So like, it hurts me to say this, but to Chris's point, I mean, I'm getting a very quality bat in my lineup. And on top of that, on the defensive side, him behind the plate, I feel like he's giving you too much for you to let go. You can't be wrong with either or, but that defense is what puts it over the top. So I'm gonna take Cal Riley.
Yeah, it's 2-2. What you got, Tony?
I think I would go with him. And the reason I'm gonna go with him because I think he's gonna be a Red next year. I'm gonna go with Kyle Schwarber.
He said he's gonna be a Red next year.
I think he's gonna be a Red next year.
Schwarber?
Yeah.
Whatever his name is. Hell, I don't know.
I mean, an A and an I mean, I get it, man. I mean, I know in Spanish the J sounds like an H, so I get it. G sounds like an H.
The funny thing is,
it's because this is a recruitment pitch. Get over here.
The funny thing is, the first time he said his name, he said it actually correct. He said it right, like no problem.
I said it wrong the second time. Yeah. Hey, I'm Mexican. I'm lucky to get half the shit right. Okay.
I mean, I was looking at Schwarber's stats, and he's having a killer year, man. 253 batting average, 45 home runs, 109 RBIs, and a 957 OPS. That's literally like he's tied. So at home runs, he's second. RBIs, he's first, and OPS, he's third. I mean, that's a hell of a dude. That's a monster year, honestly. I understand what you mean by the catcher aspect as well.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Next up, the greatest game-winning play you've ever seen. Let's go with Frankie first.
Best game-winning play I've ever seen.
Yep.
Bro, you don't have Super Bowl 51, baby. Overtime with the handoff to my boy James White for that win, dude. Overtime, baby. Super Bowl 51. You know, we call it the March 28th. You know, that's what we call it the March 28th. Atlanta fans love that day. They'll always remember that day, March 28th, where they were up 28-3. And, you know, my boy, the GOAT, Tom Brady had to come back and gave that game-winning run to James White, who we also call Sweet Feet. I hope he's enjoying retirement right now. We miss you in the New England uniform, but yo, that was one of the greatest moments of my life. You never start off a Super Bowl upset, and then you just end up like, holy shit, I can't believe we just did one of the greatest things to ever be done. And the first time Super Bowl was in overtime as well. What a great moment.
Okay. Pride?
I think of I low-key want to be biased and just pick a Patriots thing. You know, the Edelman catch in that same game kind of comes to mind, but
that's every the greatest catch in Super Bowl history, Pride.
You see what I'm saying? But I'm gonna take my bias out, and it was crazy. The first ever Game 7 buzzer beater in playoff history when Kawhi Leonard he was sent away to Toronto. It was supposed to be a dunce year for them. It was supposed to be a year where I'm just playing so I can get out of here. In Toronto, they're hosting Philly, and inbounds the ball to him, goes by Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons sees Joel Embiid, goes, okay, cool. Pulls up, boom, hits that game winner. The fact that it just bounced a couple times for that drama to go up. And just when something bad happens to the 76ers, I'm all for it. But just the mere fact that it was a game seven buzzer beater in a situation where Kawhi Leonard really didn't care because I'm leaving next year anyway. You put all of that and having that propel them to later on end up winning the ring. I even though it's not the championship, just because it led up to it, I'm gonna have to say Kawhi Leonard's game 7 buzzer beater against the Sixers.
Okay, Jay.
Yeah, mine would have been just because Philly sports guy always gives me a hard time. I have to go with game 6 of the World Series 22. Obviously, Yordan Alvarez, go ahead, home run with men on base. 450 feet, and that's only because it hit the wall. Without that wall would have been there, he probably would have gone 500, but it had to have been that one. That's what obviously got us the game 6 win, ultimately the World Series win. So yeah.
Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the same game where they used an illegal bat, right?
Yo, this dude's out of control.
I was actually going to ask him why I didn't pick a 2017 game.
Okay, let's continue.
Yeah. Who Chris go?
He took him out.
Okay, Chris.
Mine would probably be Reggie Miller, the 8 points in the 6 seconds to beat the Knicks in that playoff game.
Oh, wait, he did that little choke thing.
Yeah,
so I think it was Spike Lee on the.
Oh no, that wasn't the same game he done the choke thing. He done the choke thing in a different game against.
When he went back and scored all those points.
He scored. We were down 6 points with 7 seconds left, and he scored 8 points in less than 7 seconds to win the game for us. Hit a 3, got a steal, hit another 3, then hit 2 free throws.
Oh, and he hit that 3. He got that steal right there. He hit that 3 in the corner where his back was to the camera, right? Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That's what I was going to pick. I had another one too, but the other one is, and it's against my team, so it even kind of sucks. But it was Carlton Fisk, and I believe it was Game 6, Boston Red Sox and the Reds, 1975, when he hit that home run, and it's everybody, whether it's going to be fair or foul, and he's doing this, and everybody's doing that. And it's against my team, but it was a pretty great moment that because everybody didn't know if it was going to stay fair or not. So it was against my team.
My other one would be Tiger Woods sinking, what was it, like that 30-foot putt to win the Masters.
Oh, God, that was just stupid.
That'd be my other one.
Okay, guys, in your mind, who is the greatest NFL player of all time?
Tom Brady.
Chris.
Why is this even a thing? It's Tom Brady. If nobody says Tom Brady, you're dumb.
What?
I like Tom Brady. I do. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. And pride's best way to say it. But I don't know, man. Look, I still love the ability of Barry. I don't care, man. The way that dude could do with the football without an offensive line was just flat out stupid. And the fact that he could have done even so much more, but he actually voluntarily gave up the accolades because he didn't want them, it's just ridiculous to me.
Okay, Chris.
I'm gonna say Lawrence Taylor.
What the hell?
You knew he was going to say Tom Brady. You knew he was going to say Tom Brady.
Oh my God! Out of all people, you say a giant name. You say Lawrence Taylor. Get that out of here.
Hey, I'm not saying Brady either. I think Brady is the greatest quarterback. Football is, for me, is going to be Walter Payton.
Oh my God!
Oh, yeah, crazy a little bit.
I'm muting myself now. I can't with these Gonzalez. I can't with these Gonzalez's over there.
Okay, Pride.
So obviously, y'all know who I want to say. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. But if I'm not allowed to say that name, then there is only one other name that is acceptable.
Tom Brady
Sanders.
Jr. Oh my God.
Deion
Can't go with Deion. Hell no.
You have
What is
to
with
because
you three?
I don't
You
know.
three
I
are
think
picking
before I roll with
cokeheads.
if I was going to go with a two-way player or a two-star player or a two-sport player, I'd probably go with Bo before I went with Deion. If we're going to roll the two-sport
No,
aspect.
we're not talking dual sport. We're saying the greatest NFL player. I'm not talking.
I mean, he was on my team, and the guy never wanted to hit nobody. I thought he was a little bit of flash, a little pomp and circumstance.
No, stop. I'm gonna stop you there. Do you want to know why he never wanted to hit nobody? The man couldn't because they were afraid to throw near him. There's only two guys in the history of the NFL that literally, because of their sole presence, shut down an entire half of the football field. That is Deion Sanders and one Darrelle Revis. Those are the only two cornerbacks in the history of the NFL that literally shut down an entire half of the field. Not because they were good, not because they were fast, not because of their speed. No. Just because they rolled up they taped themselves, put on the jersey, rolled themselves out, and all of a sudden that whole half of the field gone, kaput, does not matter, obsolete. You name me.
I can't.
I get Frankie. I only said it if I'm not allowed to mention Tom Brady. You heard me. I said Tom Brady first.
Okay,
Tom Brady first. So you know what I mean. But if I'm not allowed to,
the three of you,
it's
just the three of you come on. You pick up cokehead names. That's all. That's all I'm saying. It's mind blowing to me. It's just what's the most important thing in NFL?
I'm gonna be real though,
rings, right? Stats and rings. Who has it? One person. Tom Brady. All right. He
Let's
has
talk about cokeheads. Mine might be on that list because I think if you listen to the rumors, Deion was there with them. So oh Lord.
All right, guys. Who's the greatest Major League Baseball player of all time? Frankie, you go first.
Okay, I don't want to go first. I honestly don't. I gotta think about it. Give me a minute to think about it. I gotta think about it.
Okay.
This one I'm not gonna be biased. I will go Yankees, but I'm gonna really think about this one.
Okay,
I don't
Brian.
think it's close. Yeah, honestly, I don't think it's close. I might get some hate, but dog, Barry Sanders. I understand the whole thing about what he did in the latter half of his career with the steroids. Or I'm sorry, Barry Bonds. Why I say Sanders?
Yeah,
Whoa. Yo, see, Frank is out here talking about coke, and look at me. Whoa, kid. Holy. Let me try to do that. Barry Bonds. Okay, Bonds, right? I understand what he, the second half of his tenure with the steroids, I get that. And I feel like that will be one of his things where people they're always going to look at that. They're always going to kind of blame him for that and go. But my thing is, before he even went there, what he was doing in Pittsburgh and that first year in San Francisco, because that first year in San Francisco, he was still clean. What he did to me solidifies the fact that this dude would have been the greatest had he never, ever juiced up at all. Like that's just me. I feel like, and like I'm talking about, he had MVPs. He won Rookie of the Year, multiple All-Star game selections, Silver Sluggers, and Gold Gloves. And I'm talking about this is all pre-steroid Bonds. I'm mentioning his. I think it was 7 years. Fact check me if I'm wrong. I think it was 7 years in Pittsburgh, and then the one in San Francisco that those first 8 that everyone universally agrees with that no, he was clean. All those, I'm seeing multiple MVPs. I think I'm looking at 3 MVPs. 4 Silver Sluggers, 4 Gold Gloves, 3 All-Star games, plus a Rookie of the Year to boot. I mean, I understand if we want to kill him for using steroids afterwards, but me personally, I gotta say Barry is the greatest. And on top of that, as much as you do steroids, you still gotta make contact with the ball. They're literally intentionally walking him, and he's still getting home runs. Let that sink in. They're throwing it to West Bumblefuck, and the guy is still smacking it 447 dead center.
Thanks.
And for me, it's Barry. But I know I'm gonna catch some flack because of the whole steroid thing, and I'll take that L. But I gotta throw Barry Bonds' name in there.
That's a good pick. I don't have a problem with the steroids. Yeah, baseball encouraged it. Baseball encouraged it, so I don't have a problem with it.
Summer love.
It's a tie for me, and I'm going more old school guys. Willie Mays and Pete Rose is who I would say. That's who I would go with. Chris?
Not going biased, because if I go biased, it would definitely be Pete Rose, because I think he's one of the best players. Plus, he's my favorite. But I'm going. I would agree. I would agree with pride on Barry Bonds, because I've always, and you know this, I've always said this. He had 2, maybe 3 Hall of Fame careers, at least 2. If you look what he done in Pittsburgh, just what he done in Pittsburgh could be is Hall of Fame worthy, and just what he done in San Francisco was also Hall of Fame worthy. And hell, you could even split that up. What he done in San Francisco before we knew that he was on any performance enhancing things, and after we knew he was on performance enhancing things, he probably had 2 Hall of Fame careers there. So he had if I remember right, he's the most walked batter ever. Like nobody would pitch to him. Like, so yeah, to me, I'd put Barry Bonds up there if I didn't go with my favorite guy, Pete Rose.
And I will say this, though. This is one of those conversations, even though you feel like you're biased, Pete Rose, the only reason why people are afraid to give him his love is just because that gambling thing. Yep. I mean, if he doesn't do the gambling thing, let's be honest, Pete Rose is in this conversation too. So this is one of those times that if he wanted to be biased, I wouldn't get mad at you, because honestly, he does deserve to be in the conversation.
Yeah, I just didn't want to pick him because everybody knows he's my favorite player.
Jay?
Jay's definitely going biased. He's picking an Astro player. I know he is.
I already know who's
Carlos Correa.
I guarantee
Carlos Correa.
I guarantee I know who's picking.
Crazy.
He's picking Nolan Ryan, guaranteed.
Oh, for sure.
Just like his buddy here.
But
like
you know what? You know what though? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I love Barry Bonds. I think Barry Bonds is great, and hell, even with the roids whole issue, I mean, he's still a great, phenomenal hitter, no doubt about it. Pride, I have to give you that. I also like Babe Ruth. I think any man that can come up to the plate drunk most of your life and can't focus on the damn ball, yet you can hit it out the damn ballpark 713 times. I mean, come on, there's got to be something set for alcoholics that can go to the plate drunk and knock the damn ball out of the ballpark. Could you imagine if that motherfucker was on roids and how far that shit would have gone?
Imagine
that's the here nor there. I guarantee you, Babe Ruth could find the damn ball. I guarantee you that much. But that's neither here nor there. Hey, that's neither here nor there. No, look, man, look. There are specimens and there are specimens. And there are specimens who do crazy things without all the technology and performance enhancing drugs and all the shit that we do, right? And it is though. But his greatest accomplishment didn't come as an Astro. His greatest accomplishment didn't come as a Ranger. His greatest accomplishment came with the Angels. And I told you this before. Any man that can go out there and pitch 235 pitches on June 14th, 1974. He went 13 innings against Pride. Your Boston Red Sox recorded 19 strikeouts on 235 pitches, then pitched again 3 days later, 6 scoreless innings. I'm sorry. The dude was a specimen. And at some point, even Barry Bonds' record of home runs will get broken. At the rate they're hitting home runs per year now versus what they were doing then, at some point, Barry Bonds will be faded out, and somebody else will take over that crown and move forward with it. You see it right now, the way it's trending. But I guarantee you, nobody will ever hit 5,700 strikeouts. It's just not ever going to happen. And nobody could throw heat like that guy. Nobody. Even into his 40s with the Rangers, he still was getting no hitters. 7, I believe it is, into his 40s. Specimen, all around specimen. No roids, no bullshit. Straight, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. Oh, by the way, Ventura, this is how badass I am. Yeah, go ahead and charge the mound. Put your ass in a headlock and knock you straight the hell out. So let's get real, okay? Specimen. Can you spell specimen? But I do like Barry Bonds. Nothing against Barry Bonds. Love Barry Bonds. Phenomenal hitter.
All right,
but Nolan Ryan definitely.
Oh wow, Nolan Ryan's a bitch. Anyway.
Oh, by the way, the set score of innings came 3 days later against your Yankees.
That's cool. It wasn't my Yankees at the time because I was swimming in the sack. But anyway, at that time it wasn't my Yankees. I was in the sack swimming around. I'm trying to find my way to an egg. But don't worry about that. I I agree with you guys on Barry Bonds, but I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna say for me, from when I was watching baseball, I'm gonna have to say Ken Griffey Jr. I like Ken Griffey Jr. He was a really good baseball player. He's also someone that's kind of like he resembles to me like Barry Bonds. Not they're not the same player. Obviously, they have different play styles. But for me, definitely Ken Griffey Jr. And Jay, to answer your question about Babe Ruth and being drunk, they always said when you're drunk and you see more than one thing, you always swing at the one in the middle, and that's all he did. Swing at the one in the middle.
I mean, maybe I'm just a hater. I'm not the biggest Nolan Ryan fan. I'd rather Randy Johnson. That's just me. I think
nothing wrong with the big unit. I mean, the man was so damn tall. By the time he released the ball, he was halfway to home plate.
You're not. The crazy part is you're hardly exaggerating. Hardly. Like the reach on this man was just stupid. It was stupid. Would I be?
How many rings did Nolan Ryan win? I know back then it was like hard to win championship rings and stuff.
Does he? I think he has one.
He has one ring.
I think.
Jay, stop talking to Mel. Tell Mel to stop.
He does have one ring. He got it in 1969 with the Mets. He was pitching with Tom Seaver.
See, my favorite pitcher of all time is Greg Maddux. I got to watch play.
Yeah.
He didn't have that big fastball, but his location and his pitch and his breaking pitches and his location was just masterful to watch.
I mean, if we're talking about like watching, like me being able to actually like be on TV and watch him, it kind of sucks that he died. But Jose Fernandez from the Marlins, when he decided to get all coked out on his boat and died, for that, that big motherfucker had next, bro. Like he had next. Like I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, this dude is something.
Out of all the players Pride is picking today, he's picking nothing but cokeheads.
I guess so. Guess what I'm doing after this? Apparently, I'm thinking about it, man. What a time to be alive.
I mean, you do work in a prison. I'm pretty sure you could find some way.
Oh, for sure.
All right, guys, that's all I have. Unless you guys got anything else, we'll get out of here.
Hey, I just want to say a couple of things. Number one, Pride, man. You got to come on more often than once every 5 years, man. I know they got you working hard, man, but try to get on here every now and then, man. We always love having you on this show, man. You know you're our boy. Again, if you like today's content, make sure you go to Gonzo Sports Room on YouTube and give them a subscribe, and on ESEN, give us a subscribe. And what a hell of a good show today, fellas. Except for you, Frank. You suck.
Hey, I must resemble from your Astros then.
Wow.
All right. Anybody else have anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, Jay, Astros suck. I hope you enjoy your team not making the wild card. Chris, Tony, good luck with your Colts and your quote-unquote Indiana Jones. Disrespect Harrison Ford. Pride, Patriots season, baby. Let's go. We back, baby. Let's go. Other than that, we all know Pride really works at a juvenile detention center. We respect it.